כן, לא יוצאים.
אל תגעתי, אל תגעתי. אני לא התחלתי. עליי? שאלה.
שי!
בוא נעזור.
סלם שלי, הלו! כנס, כנס!
שאלה.
ולא ניתן אותה לאף אחד.
לא מגיע לנו לבכות, לשמח את האדמה הזאת, להיות מאושרים, לא לבכות, זה האדמה ששייך לעם ישראל.
So we're here in Netiv Avot. It is the 29th of November 2017, and the police forces have arrived to tear down a man's parnassah, a man's livelihood, woodworking shop here. The claim is that it is illegal. The the land issues are in question, but let's remember what we're talking about here. We're talking about a project which was supported by the government of the state of Israel, who invested $300,000 not only in this place, but in the 17 structures, including 15 homes here in the Netiv Avot neighborhood of Elazar. And this really comes down to baseless hatred. Honestly, it's sad to say. I mean, after the Gush Katif pullout in 2005, you had people admitting this had nothing to do with improving our security, nothing to do with improving Israel diplomatically. What this had to do with it was sticking it to the so-called right wing or the religious camp or the so-called settlers. That's what it's all about. It's a tragedy. It's baseless hatred. You have residents here who are willing to slice off parts of their own homes in order to be in full 100% compliance, even though, and this is important, even though there has never been proven, it's never been proven in court that there is a private Arab owner of these areas. Never been proven. This is Jews trying to get back at other Jews because they don't agree with their positions ideologically, and we're seeing that manifest itself here today. The court, without the appropriate evidence and based on an overall generic ruling, has decided they're going to destroy these structures, even with the families are willing to work with them, shave off parts of their homes. It doesn't make sense. So this is the first step here, this woodworking shop, and the sign up top says, Ani b'miluim v'orsim li tabayit. This is a person who does, this isn't some renegade. This is a proud citizen of the state of Israel who owns this woodworking shop, who has served last week, who was in Miluim, was in reserve duty, fighting for the land of Israel, fighting for the state of Israel, and yet here we have forces gathered here this morning who are about to destroy his livelihood. Because of what? Because of baseless hatred. That's really what it's all about. And the police are now forming a human chain. This looks like the Mishteret Yisrael, the military police, are forming a barrier around the area. This group of police are going to be the ones, it looks like, are going to start tearing people away after this barrier is formed surrounding the woodworking shop here in Netiv Avot. And the supporters are screaming, Jews do not evict other Jews. Jews do not rip Jews away from their own homes. And in this case, somebody's business. And here they're expanding the perimeter. The military police. Unfortunately, you can see that there's a lot of experience in this type of army/police operation. The entire area, by the way, is sealed off. Where I'm standing now, no one can get in. It's completely blocked. You have another brigade of some kind coming in. I'm definitely not an expert in all these different brigades, but you have another group of military soldiers, perhaps another group of military police who are now also in two lines making their way into the area to assist in the destruction of this structure. I would guess that there's several hundred people here. I don't know how many people are inside the structure itself. I would roughly say somewhere between 500 and 700 people. Again, that's rough. I can't tell. There's so many people sitting around the carpentry workshop itself, and then I don't know how many people are inside. But the operation to destroy one tiny workshop, carpentry factory, if you will, carpentry workshop, is on its way. And this isn't like happening in a foreign country or in a foreign area. This is happening right here in our community in Elazar. These are our neighbors who are about to lose their livelihood as a result of demolition. But who's going to access this area? There is no owner. There's no private Arab owner. Let's say there even was. We're talking about an area that's actually inside Elazar. This isn't 5 kilometers away, 3 kilometers away. This is a neighborhood that's attached to Elazar. Nobody will have access to this area. If there was an owner, I would bet that he would be willing to take compensation, if I'm going to speculate, because he would never have access to this area because it's within a community. It's within a community here in Gush Etzion. The same thing happened in Bet El, where they had a claim of some kind of a private owner, which was never proven. And no Arabs are working that land because it's within the community of Bet El. That's how ridiculous the situation is. There are solutions. There are ways to resolve this without having to throw people out of their homes and destroy businesses. But the Supreme Court is not willing to hear other solutions. They're calling for demolition. That's the bottom line. Those are the orders. And that's what we're seeing here today.
אנשים נורמטיביים שמים אותה עם הגב לקיר. זה מה שקורה. כשביבי נתניהו זה לא מעניין אותו, פשוט לא מעניין אותו. היינו אצל בנט, היינו אצל שקד, אתמול בצהריים, והם חשבו איך לפתור את הבעיה הזאת. אי אפשר בצורה כזאת. ככה זאת לא דמוקרטיה. האירוע הזה עלול להתפתח עם נגרייה כזאת מחורבנת. זה מה שהולך להיות. תחשוב מה הולך להיות על 15 בתים. 15 בתים זה לא יעבור בשקט. עוד 3 חודשים יהיה פה בעיה גדולה מאוד. גם למדינה, גם לקואליציה.
This is one of the residents here of Netiv Avot. He essentially said that let's think what's going to happen in 3 months. This is just one structure. This is just the carpentry workshop. What about the 15 homes that are behind us that are slated for demolition in 3 months from now? And he's calling on, we're basically calling out the Prime Minister for not taking the necessary action in order to prevent this unnecessary demolition. Here now, they're literally physically carrying people away. 4 policemen per person, carrying them by the arms and the legs, dragging them out, one by one. We're going to be here a while. We're now tearing people apart one by one. This is one of the residents of Netiv Avot being dragged away. You can see the emotions here in real time. These are genuine tears, people. This isn't a show, this isn't an act. These are people crying over the loss of a business. And ultimately, if things remain on course, 15 homes in this area, which were established 16 years ago with government funding, with the support of the government. Yet we see who has the power when the Supreme Court rules and the government doesn't step in. This is the situation we have today, the ridiculousness of the situation, which could have been prevented, could have been avoided. They're clearing out the area around the door here of the woodworking shop. You can see inside there's a group of women, girls, who are at the front here. This is called passive resistance. At the end of the day, we're all brothers here. And it's our army and it's our police. And that's what makes this so upsetting, to see Jews being put in this situation. I feel bad for the soldiers here. I feel bad for the police having to do this, having to go through with this. It's the Israel Defense Force. They're supposed to be guarding our borders. Instead, they're being forced into this situation where they're wasting a day instead of using their time today to prevent a terror attack, God forbid, or anything else, defending our land, defending our borders. They're being thrown into a situation where they have to pull Jews out of their homes. So I do feel bad for those having to carry this out. I do have sympathy for them as well. But how many times are we going to see this picture? How many times are we going to see this scenario? Every couple of years, over and over and over again, we see the same thing. Does it lead us towards peace? Does it make the situation better for anybody, Jew or Arab? Absolutely not. Nobody benefits from a day like this. Senseless. Again, I'm not an expert in the rankings and the uniforms and the different people taking part, but again, it looks like the police, who are the ones carrying out the dragging of the people out, surrounded by another layer of military police, and then in the back, it looks like other soldiers from different brigades, platoons. I'm not a military man myself. Border Patrol, Magav, all different types of units, different uniforms, but with the same goal. So the entire area basically around the door of the woodworking shop has now been cleared. And it's only a matter of time that they go inside and start taking people out from inside of the woodworking shop.
מירי, המפתחות בבית פרטי? את יודעת שלי?
The women are coming in for the girls. That's the next layer. Okay, there's still some others sitting on the other side of the woodworking shop. I still see a whole group. You can't see them that well from this vantage point, but they're on the other side. They're on the sides and in the back. So it looks like they're waiting to take care of that entire circle before they open the Nagaria, the woodworking shop itself. That seems to be the plan. But the women are getting prepared. They're getting prepared to take out the girls, who are the next layer here. Evict them from the area. And they are now being dragged out. The women who are outside of the woodworking shop. These are women of the neighborhood, of the community of Elazar, of Netiv Avot, which is part of Elazar, another neighborhood. Emotions very strong here, very high. This is somebody who grew up here in the neighborhood. Her house is slated for demolition, and she's now being dragged away. All because of other Jews, sadly. Other Jews who initiated this. No Arab has come forward. This is the work of other Jews. Sinat Chinam, hatred, baseless hatred here. That's what we're seeing here today. The residents and people from all over the country are putting up a struggle against the demolition, unnecessary demolition of somebody's business here, a woodworking shop. At this point, they have the police have taken away all of the boys who were sitting outside of the woodworking shop. They pulled them away and escorted them outside of the area. Then they went over here, and all of the women, a lot of women, not girls, not children, women, from this area, from this neighborhood, from Elazar, from the whole country, who were sitting here in protest. They were then taken away by female officers. They were pulled out of this area. And the next step, it looks like all that's remaining is what's going on inside. A group of women in the first room here, and then boys and men in the back room of the woodworking shop. The mayor of the Gush Etzion, Shlomo Naaman, is now here. We're going to listen to what he has to say.
בשנת ה-70 להכרת אומות העולם על הקמת מדינת יהודים בארץ ישראל אנחנו רואים כאן התמוטטות השלטון ולא כוח החוק, ההפך מהחוק, ההפך מהשלטון. יש כאן הרס של מבנה של יהודים שאין שום סיבה להרוס אותו. מה שצריך לעשות כאן זה לשלוט, זה להיכנס לאזור הזה, להכריז עליו ריבונות ולהסדיר כאן את כל המעמד של כל הבתים. ואנחנו הגענו לרגע העצוב הזה שממשלת ישראל, במקום לשלוט, במקום להכריז על מדינת ישראל כאן ביהודה ושומרון, כאן בגוש עציון, כאן בנתיב האבות, ממשלת ישראל פועלת להריסה. אנחנו מאמינים שיש לה את כל הכוחות שבעולם למנוע את ההריסות ולא לבצע אותם, וכך נעשה.
Basically what the mayor is saying, that instead of destroying this area should be regulated, and Israel should have sovereignty over this area. That's in a nutshell what the mayor of Gush Etzion, Shlomo Naaman, just told reporters, that there's no reason for this demolition. It's completely senseless. And instead of destroying, we should be building. That's what our focus should be on. The girls here are calling on the police and the military not to follow orders, not to carry out the demolition, not to carry out the destruction, to walk away, to do the right thing, to have a conscience, and not to continue with the evacuation and destruction of the woodworking shop here. Looks like there's a few more women who are still here. Young girls.
יש שם איזה אידיוט אחד.
הבית שלנו, אתם לא יכולים לקחת אותנו.
Here's a point. So here's a point that I did make before, and I've said it on camera here, that it's our own Supreme Court which has made the decision to destroy this carpentry shop. But those who brought the petition to the court are extremist organizations such as Shalom Achshav, Peace Now, Yesh Din, and all these organizations who are funded by European Union government, the European Union governments from different countries in the European Union, and other different extremist entities who want to see the downfall of the state of Israel. They've now broken open the door of the woodworking shop. The interaction here, I see medics who are here dealing with the situation who actually live in this area, who live in El-Azhar. You have journalists who are also from this area. You have policemen who are from this area or not from this area. And then the residents themselves and those who came from all over the country to protest this. It's all one mixed up family. And today it's a very sad day for that family. It's a very tense situation. And the girls are now being dragged from inside of the woodworking shop, one by one. They're now brought in what looks like the demolition crew. Those actually who are going to be taking down the structure itself. The guys in the yellow vests with jackhammers and all other types of tools. I think namely, first of all, to gain complete access to the structure, to open it. And then some of these guys looks like will actually be involved in tearing down the structure itself.
Vicky.
We're now here in the back of the woodworking shop. As you can see, the backside has been pried open, and whichever boys remain are being forcefully removed. You can see how much force is being used right here. to drag these kids, teens, who wrap themselves in tires. And they're now pulling them out. This is the last line of defense of the Nagaria, the woodworking shop here in the Netiv Avot. Definitely more forceful on this side than they were on the front end. There'll be a lot more force being used here to drag these youngsters out. The Jerusalem Post reporter just got thrown out of here by force. They're now throwing everyone out of here by force. Journalists, teens, doesn't matter who. Everyone's getting chucked out of here by force. Tension is extremely high. Now they're pushing journalists, they're pushing kids, they're pushing everybody. Everybody's getting thrown out of here by force. This is the most violent it's gotten since. Security forces now throwing kids down a hill, pushing them off the hill. Gloves are off now completely. If you're listening. It's like a brawl. It's gotten into a brawl here because one of the guys in charge started using force, and now the soldiers are pushing back, the police are pushing back. This was a mistake. Once they started chucking people off this little hill here, down, that's when the violence got crazy. There's barbed wire around here. This is very dangerous. Very dangerous. Kids are now getting chucked off this ledge. This is a bad situation right now. They're just chucking kids. They're just chucking them off this ledge down below. They got to stop chucking kids off this ledge. It's good to see that the spirit is not broken out of these kids. At least that. There's one kid who's injured. He's down on the ground. They're bringing in the paramedics now. They're lifting him. They're carrying him out on a stretcher now. A kid who was hurt. They're calling on everyone to make a path. I don't know how serious it is. Well, you have a kid here on a stretcher. He's being carried out. Magen David Adom is here. Hatzalah Yudav Shomron, different first responder organizations are here. Don't know exactly his injury, but they're pulling him out of here. How this is being allowed, that police and soldiers are literally chucking people, pushing them off this ledge. So this is, I would say, the final stages of today's developments. The last few teens, adults, youth, whomever was inside of the woodworking shop are now here on a level below the area, and the entire area has been surrounded. I'm looking back behind. I don't see any other protesters. Some of them are pushing, trying to get back up, but that is not going to happen with so many soldiers there. Now they actually have the higher ground, so that's not going to happen. Anyone says that Gush Etzion is a consensus community. And we're settlers, they call it settler light or anything like that. You'll see here that residents of Gush Etzion have to worry about their homes just like the residents in the Shomron, just like anywhere else in Jerusalem or any other places throughout the country. There's nothing light about this and about what happened here today. And this is just the beginning, because this is just one structure. March, another 15 homes slated for demolition. So we'll have to see how that pans out. It's time, once and for all, the government to step up and implement policy here. It's 70 years since the UN partition vote. We've been here in Judea and Samaria for 50 years. It's about time that the law of the land be implemented for all its residents, and we shouldn't be second-class citizens and have to go through these evacuations and demolitions of property.
קודם כל, אני רוצה לומר תודה בשם כולנו, בשם אלעזר ובשם נתיב האבות, לכל היקרים והצדיקים שהגיעו לפה כדי לעזור לנו, כדי לתמוך בנו. העזרה שלכם הייתה נפלאה, עדיין נפלאה. אנחנו מודים לכם כל כך, אין שיעור לתודתנו. כל מי שהתבצר היום פה, כל מי שנמצא פה היום, וכמובן אני לא מתכוון לחיילי מג"ב, כל מי שנמצא פה היום, כל מי שנמצא פה היום ניצח, ניצח בגדול, ניצחנו בגדול. עמדנו מול עם הזוי, עם הזוי שעומד מול פסיקה הזויה של בג"ץ, ומאיר את העם הזה, להסביר לו שכל מה שקורה פה זה נורא ואיום. זה הגרעין האמיתי של אוהבי ארץ ישראל, מי שנמצא פה היום. מה שאנחנו חושבים שהרסו פה מטר או שניים או נגרייה או מה שזה לא יהיה, זה כלום. זה ניצחון שכולו הפסד. הפסד להזויים, הפסד למאססים, הפסד לשונאי ארץ ישראל. כי על כל מטר שיערס פה ייבנו 100 מטר. הקדוש ברוך הוא למעלה ראה כמה אנחנו אוהבים את ארץ ישראל היום, ועוד יותר הוא ראה כמה אנחנו אוהבים את עם ישראל היום. ואתם חיילי מג"ב יכולים להעיד על זה. אתם יכולים להעיד על זה, אתם הייתם במספיק הפגנות וחסימות כבישים. אתם יודעים שיש פה אנשים נפלאים, אנשים שכואבים באמת, אנשים שהם באמת אכפת להם, והם עוד עדיני נפש ועדיני נשמה. אני קורא לכם חיילי מג"ב להבין שפה עומדים אוהבי ארץ ישראל האמיתיים. פה עומדים האחים שלכם שמנסים לשחרר את עם ישראל מהפסיקה הזויה הזאת, מהחלום ההזוי הזה. עוד כמה חודשים, חס ושלום, מאיים חרב הפינוי וההרס על בתי תושבים כאן בנתיב אבות. כל מה שקרה פה זו רק הקדמה. כל מה שקרה פה זה רק פרומו. צריך להבין, כל אנשי הממשלה, כולל ראש הממשלה, כולל כולם, צריכים לדעת, אנחנו אוהבי ארץ ישראל, אנחנו לא ניכנע מפני כל רעיון הזוי. אני קורא לממשלה ולראש הממשלה, יש פתרונות, תפסיקו להתחבא. יש פתרונות במסגרת החוק, במסגרת בג"ץ, במסגרת השלטון. אפשר לעשות דברים, לא חייבים להרוס. אל תפחדו, אל תפחדו, תהיו אמיצים, תשתמשו בפתרונות שיש לכם. כל אנשי הממשלה והכנסת באים ושואלים, מה הפתרון שאתם מציעים? רק תגידו, אנחנו נעשה. אמרנו ואמרנו 1000 פעמים, ונתנו 1000 פתרונות. מה שנשאר זה רק נעשה. תעשו כבר, תפנו כבר. אתם יודעים מה לעשות כבר מלפני 3 חודשים. לא צריך להמתין עד הרגע האחרון. תראו על מה מפרקים ממשלה. מפרקים ממשלה על שיפוץ רכבת, ולא מוכנים לפרק ממשלה על ארץ ישראל. מה זה הבושה הזאת? ושוב, אני מודה לכל האנשים שהיו פה, כי האנשים שהיו פה ניצחו את הניצחון האמיתי, ניצחון של אוהבי ארץ ישראל, ניצחון של אוהבי עם ישראל, ניצחון של אנשים אצילי נפש שנלחמים על הבית שלהם, על האדמה שלהם ועל האדמה של עם ישראל כולו. בעזרת השם אתם תראו עוד את הניצחון הזה, אם לא היום מחר, ואם לא מחר אז מחרתיים. וכל מי שחלילה היה הזוי ופחד והיסס וגמגם ואפשר את הדבר הזה, האדם הזה הוא בסופו של דבר המפסיד הגדול. אנחנו לא שוכחים, אנחנו לא עם של שכחנים, אנחנו זוכרים את זה טוב מאוד. אחרי מרץ 18 יש נובמבר 19, צריך לדעת גם את זה. גם אנחנו מכירים את התאריך הזה, נובמבר 19, גם אנחנו יודעים לזכור עד נובמבר 19. ראש הממשלה וממשלת ישראל, נתנו לכם 1000 פתרונות, תשתמשו לפחות באחד, זה לא קשה, ותהיה תפארתכם יחד עם כל אוהבי ארץ ישראל. חזק, חזק ונתחזק.
חברים יקרים, אני רוצה לומר לכם משהו שהולך איתנו מהמקום הזה ולא הולך רחוק. אבותינו דרכו על האדמה הזאת כדי שאנחנו נבנה אותה וניבנה ממנה. ומי שחושב שאנחנו צריכים פתרון למתיישבים אינו אלא טועה. נכון שיש 1,000 פתרונות, אבל אפילו פתרון אחד אנחנו לא צריכים. אנחנו לא צריכים פתרונות, אנחנו צריכים את אדמתנו, את נחלתנו, את ביתנו. זאת המשימה. מי שחושב, כל מיני ארגונים קיקיוניים ששמו למטרתם להרוס את המדינה, והמדינה משתפת איתם פעולה, כל מיני אנשים שכל מטרתם וכל ייעודם בהרס, לא יקבלו, זממם לא יתקיים. וזה שנגרייה הזאת, שאינה אלא סמל למאבק, קדימון למאבק שעוד מצפה לנו, זה שהיא תיהרס, זה לא מה שישבור אותנו. ההפך הוא הנכון, יהיו פה הרבה בתים, ויהיו פה הרבה תושבים, ואנחנו ניבנה כאן, ולא נעצור, ולא נחסם במקום הזה. מהמקום הזה ניבנה.
לא יודעים לעבוד בכלל, בוא תלמד אותם איך לעבוד. הם לא יודעים לעבוד.
שיש בעיה קשה לדבר עם הדיונים.
So here you see behind me the final images from today, the completion of the events here, and finally the destruction of the woodworking shop. The owner actually decided not to be here and witness this, and he didn't want his kids exposed to this. I just found out, so they're not even here right now. And as I said before, last week he himself was in reserve duty serving his country in Miluim, and this week his house is unnecessarily, his carpentry shop rather, is unnecessarily being destroyed, and his livelihood is being damaged because of extremist organizations who just hate the fact that they're Jews here in Judea and Samaria. They hate the ideology of the religious Zionist camp and the so-called settlers.
And I'll just sum it up in a second, because what really is the case. The State of Israel said every building which is built on private land, the state itself will destroy, will take it back. But that's not the case over here. Because even the Supreme Court itself decided.
לא, באמת, ככה צריך. ובסדר, אם יהיה משהו שאני מרגיש שאני רוצה להיכנס לו, בינתיים. דווקא אומרים איפה אתם נמצאים, למה אתם לא פועלים לפנינו, בקדנציה שלכם, במשמרת שלכם